We should be live just now. On YouTube as well. Cast your next opponent and pinpoint all the mistakes they make. Scouts. I do want to cast like the playoffs of all the leagues. That's going to be a lot of playoffs. And Bazzi, hello Bazzi. So right now we have a situation. Apparently, Bad Koala cannot find Vivy, so we're just going to draft, and we're going to hope that Vivy shows up during the draft, because the other team does not have availability to reschedule. And hello Cicero. Looks like turned up at the right time. Well, let's hope Vivy turns up. Bad Koala apparently can't contact him. And hello Kramers. Did T90 schedule in time? Well, he didn't schedule in time, but they scheduled for tomorrow, which is beyond the deadline. So I don't know what we're gonna do. Jump in 1200 ELO. I don't think we can change the teams at this point. Hello, Pro Pleb NZ on YouTube. Twitch Pro Pleb NZ says hi to you. PQT90 and Dark. I mean, maybe we should admin win to their opponents. But then it's also the other team didn't schedule too. I think all players there are equally responsible for the lack of scheduling. Well, unless we like do a prize pool fine, there's not much we can do about it. Waiting for the other team to reply to schedule? Yes. That's the fun part of the tournament. Not only do you get to play, you also get to get involved in scheduling. And hello, Bobby on YouTube. Also, YouTube, let me know how the quality of the stream is going. It should be consistent now, and hopefully not dropping, because I updated my router, and I think it can actually handle the upload speed now. YouTube is the much higher bitrate than Twitch, so that's where I would expect the issues to happen first. It's just past midnight for you there in YouTube. That's some dedication. It is 8 AM for me, though. I woke up early to cast this. I hope that Vivy shows up, too, because I woke up early to cast these games. Like, I could have slept in and gotten more work done otherwise. So, okay, we do have drafts. I'll display the drafts. Should be a spectator on that draft. There we go. Didn't expect Vivy and Koala to be silver. They did lose their play-in match. That's what puts them here. So we'll have Spiral as game 1, which is lovely because I just fixed Spiral yesterday, and it should have consistent shorefish now. There was occasionally a missing shorefish, and I fixed it. And then we'll have Nomad in Arabia, home maps for LY, and Arena and Forest Ponds, the home maps for OS. All the YouTubers running smoothly? Wonderful. Right now I do some freelance programming in addition to streaming. Who is favored? Personally, I'd say LYB probably is favored. But then again, they need Vivy to show up. So there's a good chance OS Plus gets an admin win. And I go stream another set from Rex. But we are hoping Vivy shows up. Is LYA Yolix? Yes, LYA is Yolix, LYB is Vivy and Bad Koala. Have I had breakfast? Yes, I woke up, I ate breakfast, and now it's stream time. have some pre-match trash talk in the chat between Bozzy and Dawn Gopher? Or did I have some for breakfast? Some leftover tortellini from dinner last night and an apple. Because I had to eat very quickly to be in time to cast. Both YouTube and Twitch asking the same questions. An apple for breakfast? You don't have apples for breakfast? I always have a piece of fruit with breakfast. And hello, Full Metal Zim. Both picked Mongols indeed. Where do Mongols get used, though? Interesting to see double Mongols, maybe for Forest Pond. I wonder if they have different ideas for maps for Mongols. Gurjaras being the very first pick, too. That's a surprise. I don't think I've even really seen Gurjaras played. Have I seen the Gurjaras played ever? Maybe as an outcrop pocket. And Javasti, hello. I'm sorry, amazing commentary, enjoyable. Well, thanks for stopping by the Twitch chat. I'm glad you're enjoying all the YouTube content. The YouTube streams are great because I just stream and then I don't even gotta edit or upload anything. It's just there. An arena. Oh, you're right. Maybe Arena Gujara Sea Jellies. They might have a plan for that. You're right. You're right. Hello, Spawn. Oh, you're not late at all. You are before Vivy. Using the Sax Nations Cup. Yeah, YouTube's much nicer for VODs than Twitch is. I feel like Twitch is nicer just for opening Twitch and finding a stream. But being able to rewind the YouTube stream is nice too. So Teuton's, ooh, early Teuton's pick for Koala. Guess that has to be for Arena. So fairly standard as far as the maps go for this pool. Forest Pond and Spiral are the craziest. YouTube all the way. Hello, Linksy. YouTube also has no ads, so if you want to watch without the ads. Oh, we have a random Armenians pick. Random Armenians. And how do I say this? Catholexidonia. Thank you for the follow. Alright, Goala, just a little random Armenians in there. No big deal. Aren't Chinese busted a Nineville Nomad start? I believe so. That's what I've seen quite a bit. And they are banned, however, with the admin bans down at the bottom. And Khitan's not banned and not picked. Ooh, you're right. And I imagine they get played for Arabia. Although maybe on 2v2 Arabia, knights are still more valuable than steppies with how many crossbows the archer player usually has. John's, I think, would be more of a 1v1 pick. Or are they banned? Are they admin banned at the bottom? No, Khitans are not admin banned. We had a random Burgundians ban. Oh, Vivy, Vivy must be upset about Burgundians being banned. It's like his favorite civ. Yeah, the Chinese will be strong on African clearing. Both, Bozzy. Both. Units are much better for the draft, and emblems are just awful. The units appear in the game so you can learn them. The emblems only appear in the menu. In 6 years and I still don't know what any of the emblems are. So the drafts are finished, and the question is whether or not Vivy is here. That's my favorite civ, Byzantines. It's always been my favorite, because they had the huge city in the Barbarossa campaign. Back in 1999, that was impressive. Alright, so Petito asking the question, did Vivy arrive? That's the question we all want to know. Hello, raid. So while we're here, let me check out what's going on in the Pathfinder. We have, yeah, RR versus Sweden O and Nocturna C versus RRB. And more teams that need to play. Or is there a dice on them? Because that was randomed, they ran out of time and they randomly got a civ. The dice on the overlay, both for their ban and then their pick, indicate that it was random. And I am 2K1, new. Yep, Burgundians were a random ban. And we're still hoping that Vivy shows up. We do want Vivy to play. But if not, we'll just cast Kamigawa's RR versus Spaden's Sweden O. And do a Kami set. Oh, chat, be nice to each other. Don't go calling each other noob. Especially if they're your teammates. You don't want your teammates to be lacking in confidence. So let's see, they don't have a lobby up, so I'm guessing that means Vivy is not around. I don't know what happened to Vivy. And Lixen, or a bad Qual on Vivy. Probably one of the strongest remaining teams, I think. Definitely a chance to make it to the finals. The VNA has looked really strong, too. 500 elo and your favorite play is Fast Imp Battle Ellie? Ooh, I like that play. My favorite's Fast Imp Monk. You've been playing through all the campaigns for the first time. Pathfinding is terrible when the maps have a lot of elevation. Pathfinding is terrible when the maps are flat, too. We'll see. I guess we have a bit more time. Let me double check what the handbook says for admin stuff. There's one game loss for every 10 minutes of delay and a full series loss after 30 minutes. I guess we give Vivy another 10 minutes to show up, and then you gotta start doing admin decisions. Hello, woman. Let me just, for preparation, download a couple sets of recs from the other sets that we could potentially cast. And thank you, Holocane, for the follow. This is the only set. This was the only set for today, but I'm still not sure if it's going to happen, because we very suddenly had a loss to Vivy. The other team already did schedule and show up, so I don't think we can fairly reschedule at this point. And as today's also the deadline, so not much more that we can do. I know the Silver League is pretty fast-paced, but that was known from the beginning. Also, Vivy, we don't know where Vivy is. Bad Koala cannot contact him. As Bad Koala, yeah, Bad Koala is around. He is around indeed. Problem is his teammate is not. Bad Koala did the drafts, so Koala's here. Yeah, no problem with Koala. Koala is on time. It is Vivy who is missing. They not have backup players? Nope, it's only those two on the roster. Oh, and freaking Andy, thank you very much for the raid. Welcome to the Waiting for Vivy party. Apparently Bad Koala cannot contact Vivy. Hope you had a good stream, Andy. I saw you were playing some Black Forest with your Onimaru teammate earlier. Koala was also struggling with the draft with 2 randoms. A bit, I guess. They don't have anyone to replace them? They do not. There's only those 2 on the roster. Koala has to 1v2. You can give Koala and a mobile unit's AI. And then have him play 1v2. Didn't Ornlu do that in a tournament once? They had an AI play on a Nomad game. Low Elo. He's allowed to start game 1, 1v2 in the hope the teammate shows up for game 2. And you stall out as long as you can. I did that once in a tournament. We played a 3v4 and we almost won. And our teammate did show up for game 2. The map doesn't support 1v2 though. We'd have to do it in a mobile AI. Give him extreme AI? Not even extreme AI can replicate Vivy. His lifestyle is too extreme for that. Well, if Vivy's not here, I don't think we have a choice other than just admin win, and we'll cast another set. What do you mean with that? I know nothing about Vivy. Look into the life of Vivy. You'll see he has an extravagant lifestyle. Or so, that's what the Reddit posts have told me about him. Watch a movie about Vivy's life. Maybe we should make one. Hope he shows up in time for the premiere. Is there space in the rulebook for that? The rulebook. Nah, the rulebook states if a team is unable to start on time, they will receive 1 game loss for every 10 minutes of delay and a full series loss after 30 minutes. So... Is Margugu the French Vivy? I don't think so. Margugu is his own person. Nobody dared to pick the worst team game civ in the game? What is the worst team game civ in the game? I'm curious what your opinion is there. The Ketons, you don't think they're good for team games? You don't think they can be used as a scout civ on Arabia? Scouts going scouts into steppies. Lost all games in the tournament so far. I think they have, actually. Is Dudunzu participating? Not on this team, at least. I don't think he actually signed up. I don't see a sign up for him. If I scroll through the list. Oh man, the AoE1 soundtrack hits. The AoE1 DE soundtrack. Put a lot of effort into that. Mostly for good results, I'd say. Well, between Twitch and YouTube, we got 200 people waiting for Vivy not to show up. But if he doesn't, no worries for us at least, as we can cast some of the Pathfinder community sets. And I'm actually pretty excited to see some of those. Yeah, the hope of having the semifinals tomorrow, though, seems like it's not gonna work out. So we might need to just somehow cast those after the Gold League quarterfinals on Thursday and Friday. The hope was to have those streamed live, but seems like that's not realistic. We already have T90 scheduling set late. Okay, yeah. So Bad Crawl is saying no reply. Oh well. I think that's unfortunately then no Vivy showing up. So we will. What we're doing now is admin win for the first game, so it's 1-0 in favor of OS Plus, and if he's not here in another 10 minutes, then it's just admin win for the set. So that's okay. Why don't we just swap things over then? Let me get my recorded game set up and we'll cast the Community League. I have a couple of sets to do here. They're best of 3 sets, so I think we'll get both of them casted. Shattering. I know. Can we not reschedule? Nope. The other team already scheduled for today and had everything set up, and they were committed to this. So at this point, we're not rescheduling this. And we have a tight timeline because we need the semifinals played for the weekend. Most popular video is it possible to win the Joan of Arc campaign without killing enemy units? Is it possible? You have to watch the video to find out. If he's done this in like 5 of his last 7 tournaments, has it? Has he? I didn't know Vivy was so prolific in not being scheduled. He needs a clock. Not allowed to play in clown tournaments anymore, really. Maybe that's why Yo swapped his teammate? Maybe. Well, Yo and Lix have played together a lot anyway. I was actually kind of surprised the last Cartographers that it wasn't Yo and Lix. So I think Yo and Lix have a good shot at winning. Anyway, so we will swap just over. And okay, we have some community sets then. We have some community sets. So we're going to do Rulers of Rome versus Sweden with the capital O umlaut. Copy and paste this character to my title. Update this overlay. Oh, I need the community icon for my overlay. There we go. That just about fits. Thank you, Brez Soza 00, or Brezin Sozia. Oh, Brezin Soiza 007 for the follow. There, took a few attempts, but I think I got it. There's something close to it. I ban poor Britons? Well, we'll never know. We'll never know because we're moving to another set. Let me update my YouTube title too. Oh, you're right. I need to update the score. Oh. Need to update the title anyway. All right, so we're just gonna move to another set, and now I need to go back to bed now. I would have slept more. That's okay. I got 2 community sets to cast, so at least we'll have content for the stream. And This is the great part about the Community League. We have so many things being done that we're always going to have stuff for the next bit of time. The bad thing is the overlay has a different orientation, doesn't fit. I need to fix my overlays, but that's okay, because we are going to have an updated scoreboard, and everything will be good. Okay. So let's go game number 1. Oh my gosh, they're playing Fortress. I haven't seen this played yet. Oh, yes. This is wonderful. They're playing Fortress. I've been wanting to see this. They have not played this yet in the main event. So this is perfect for us. All right, let me just set up this scoreboard here. This is Pathfinder. This is the group stage. It's a best of 3 between that Sweden and the rulers of Rome, Kamigawa, and Vodka. What are the best colors for the scoreboard? I'm gonna go yellow and purple probably. Lakers colors. So okay, we have Fortress. It is Regicide Fortress. When's the last time we've seen a good Regicide Fortress game? In the show match, I guess, and then the lead up for this. So how are we feeling? Are green and purple okay colors? I hope so. Because we'll have Spaden playing the green as the Chinese, Bullet playing as the Spanish in the purple. Then Kamigawa in the yellow as the Slavs, and Vodka in the red as the Vietnamese. Okay for Lord Benji. Hello, Lord Benji. Hold on, I got Alt-Tab and get my YouTube chat visible. There we go. So, for everyone just tuning in, Vivy did not show up on time, so we admin winned the main set, and we're going to move on and cast a couple of the community sets. So this is you would have seen these two teams in the silver plane. They're playing in the top tier community league. And we have some horses out there. Ooh, horses. And it will be a game of a Regicide Fortress. So castle here, healing the scout for Spaden. We'll have kings. This time they have queens. So it was 50-50 kings or queens. They got queens this time. They'll be running around and scouting. Give them a speed boost so they're the same speed as kings. And Vodka has to be careful not to run into that castle with that forward queen. Just double checking, making sure there are 7 relics. It's a wreck, so it doesn't matter, but just making sure they're all there. And we'll have a tower up. That's so Bullet putting his queen in the tower right away. Oh, and Donut, thank you very much for the raid. You were casting the queens, the low elo queens sets earlier. I saw some of that. Carto, yes. So this is the community league. This is the Pathfinder, the highest tier of the community league. We were gonna cast the silver league earlier, but then Vivy was late and he didn't show up. So we're calling an audible and moving over to these community games. Everyone's going up to feudal, and I've not seen Regicide Fortress played. I've seen it picked, but not played yet in the main event of Gold and Silver. So a nice twist on something we haven't seen yet. Thank you for popping in earlier. Hope you have a good stream. Well, thank you very much for the raid, Donut. I hope that you had a wonderful stream yourself. And so Chinese and Spanish feels very AOC styled here. The Chinese with the extra 3 vills at the start, and with all the extra food you have on Regicide, they have a very smooth start with a wonderful eco. The Spanish have an amazing unique unit in the Conquistador, and also if it goes late, they have the trade bonus. And sometimes you do go late on a Regicide Fortress, and the map's kind of open, but if you wall up from your fortress to the side, you can get much better trade lines than you can on Arena without the forest on the outside. Maybe just missing Mayans from the good old AOC days. Now, newer civs, Vietnamese for Vodka, and Slavs for Kamigawa. Slavs are a great siege civ for the late game, but they don't have bombard cannons. Boyars could be interesting, maybe. At least the castles are all forward. Yes, Bozzy, that is something I do in the map script. The castles are forward. Using find closest to map center. I place the castles forward. Indeed, indeed. But everyone up to feudal now. I'll have to pay attention to whether players go heavy on gold or if they just go to boom. So 4 on gold for vodka. That could be kind of aggressive. Only 2 on gold for Kamigawa, and he's going to long distance mine the stone. You start with 150 stone on Regicide, so you have to long distance mine 50 stone if you want to build your second and third TCs. Is this the vodka that always does the spectating on the tournaments? Yes, indeed. That is... This very vodka is the one who does all the spectating. So let's see, I'm getting a ping on Discord. Admin win. Yep, admin win confirmed. For that other set. So everyone up to castle, horse collar coming in for Spaden and Bullet. And I mean, these are 4 very old school players. We honestly probably could have seen this matchup 10 years ago. And different civs, of course, but Regicide Fortress between these 2 teams. These are players with a long history of AoE. I love the player, hate the drink. Oh, look at this. Building the market and the blacksmith right next to the tower. That looks really pretty. It's like, I almost want to say this looks like a campaign because of how the blacksmith graphics overflow. And it looks kind of like he merged 2 buildings together. Like a tower in front of the blacksmith. Well, that's just the graphics. Like, who did this? Who did this to the blacksmith? You can walk here. The graphic, this is... I have fallen victim to not being walled so many times because of this. Is the king not in the castle? So that you don't accidentally ungarrison him. You put him in the tower so you don't accidentally ungarrison the king when you send your unique units forward. Although it does have more HP, so some players risk that just for the extra HP. Pathfinder, we have a community league. We have 11 different brackets based on ELO. And the highest, we named them all after, like, Explorer or like Wayfinder or Trailblazer, various words that would fit the theme of Cartographer. And naturally, the highest tier community league could only be named Pathfinder. Farm placement is very unsatisfying. That happens on Regicide Fortress. You start with 5 farms, and sometimes they wiggle your farms out of the way. This is not a T90 farm situation. This is just a Regicide farm situation. Could we adjust the size? Maybe that could be a mod for someone and make the blacksmith fit. Like I did clickable felled trees where I adjusted the leaves. Give us a blacksmith fits its boundary mod. There was on Voobly, I think, a small houses mod. I don't know if there's one of those on DE. Wasn't Pathfinder a movie? Maybe it was. This game is literally unplayable. Why? Because of the pathfinding? There is a TC for Bullet. So 3 TCs for everyone. Everyone booming. Thought 4 on gold might have given us a chance for aggression, but no, everyone booming, and you'll have a couple of scouts. Oh no. Kamigawa deleted the wall to build a TC, and that's going to let Conquistadors right into his eco. Oh no, does he have loom? He has no loom. Remember, you start with 0 gold on Regicide. Oh no, absolute disaster for Kamigawa. Oh, the conks from Bullet ran right through the TC, and now they're gonna hoover around in his economy. He thought deleting the back wall would be okay, but no, it wasn't. He had a bit of a hill out there. He had so many gates, this one wasn't usable. He could have gone out that gate. Could have used that gate. He just walked out the gate, but no, he wanted to delete the wall. One of those horses is not like the others. He has a scout for vision near the Conquistadors. His gold is harassed. He needs to make sure he does not accidentally ungarrison the queen. Ooh, the scout goes down. That castle. Castle vicious. Bullet running straight into the castle. Wonder if there's a world where getting armor for conks is worth it so they can leave TC fire better? Oh, there definitely is. But then there's also just micro them so they don't die to the TCs. Oh, more conks hoovering on the outside. This TC surrounded on both sides will basically be idled. Defensive Scorpion. Out for Kamigawa, as he'll have to defend against the conks. They have a nice hill. And I need to get a new mouse soon, too. For some reason, whenever I zoom in and out, sometimes the mouse wheel registers a click in the other direction. And like, it zooms one click opposite what I want it to do. Would we be able to check the bracket for the Community League? That's a good question. I don't know how active it's been updated. I know Arbase is on it, but I think he's just getting up. Or wasn't, or I don't know, because I don't want to spoil myself for all the stuff. If you mean check the bracket for check which teams are which, we can do that. We definitely can do that. I don't know if all the standings are up to date though, because some teams haven't played their first week yet, and it's a round robin, so we don't necessarily need them to have played. But I don't know if we have standings. We do have teams though. It hasn't been updated recently. Okay. I think Arbase might need everyone to submit stuff to their Discord channels, and then he'll update it. So Rat and Archer is here from Vodka. Unfortunately, the Slavs do not have a unique unit in the Boyar that can counter the Conquistador, and he will rely on the Rat and Archers from his Vietnamese teammate to come help him out. And after all of that, Swedeno up by 8 villagers, and we'll have an extra TC here for Bullet. So the wall delete for Kamigawa backfiring horribly. Blacksmith doesn't. The blacksmith graphics are what make it unplayable. And the New World civs not having the selection box that I talked about the other day, yeah. Anyway, so we will have just Boomin as the Rat and Archer start to move out a bit. Really, Rat and Archer versus Chuko Nu. I'm not quite sure how that goes. Bodkin coming in for the Rat and Archers. We have Imperial Age on the way, fletching for the Chuko News. And Spading wanted to go forward, probably for a castle. He does have just about the stone he needs for it. And up to Imp, he wants that castle timing. The Rat and Archers is going to try to run down the Chuko News. Lots of Pierce Armor on the Rat and Archers. In some sense, the Chuko News could eat through that with how many arrows they shoot, but not enough Chuko News to get to that point. And now the Rat and Archers are just going to chase down as many villagers as they can, and... well, if Kamigawa Titanic, Spaden just Hindenburged, and he will have a disaster trying to go for that forward castle, loses all of his army, getting the villagers pushed back, and he'll go for a castle at home. If Vodka pushes that, and he'll see it with the outposts, he can probably deny that too. And, oh no, Spaden. Oh, doubt castles. And that'll be a castle at home, so nice use of the Rat and Archers to maintain map control for Vodka. Vodka booming away, look at that score lead he has. And Vietnamese, I think late game should be pretty good against the Spanish, unless maybe the Spanish are going to go Paladins. They're spading up to Imp, but not going to have that forward treb timing he had wanted, and even going to lose more villas on that castle. So Spaden doing his best doubt impression. Conquistadors come over. Ooh, they find the tower with the queen inside of it. They will have to run away though. Tower picks them off. Conk going to miss the villager. Finally get a hit. Oh, that is so inaccurate. Oh, we can't hit anything. Oh, finally. Oh, poor conquistadors. They are so inaccurate. Spanish paladins are tough against Slav halbs. That's true. That's true too. I mean, even against Vietnamese halbs. We'll have Imp on the way for both of our Rulers of Rome civs. So Spaden now, taking over the high score in the game, gets his next castle up and can get the Chuko Nu production rolling a bit. When you get enough Chuko News and they shoot enough arrows, all of a sudden the Pierce Armor doesn't help as much. You're taking 1 damage apiece from every arrow anyway. And hello, Prankill. And green did not get much from going imp first, and now might lose more army to the Rattans again. Doesn't have the Chuko Nu numbers to push this. I know Spaden at least played in the Raja's expansion because he played in our escape tournaments back in the day, so he should know about the Rattan Archer. Chuko Nu, a good unit in its own right, but maybe not the unit to use against them. Thumb Ring on the way for Vodka as he keeps amassing more Rattan Archers. He also doesn't have the second armor, but he will have Elite Chuko Nu and will have Chemistry. We'll have a Forward Castle from Vodka. In the middle, we'll have Halb Siege from Kamigawa. And we'll have a full team wall or a team housing project by Bullet going over towards Spaden. And Castle going up at the front for Vodka. And here, knights surrounding that Boyar from Kamigawa. Ooh, Kamigawa has to be careful not to overchop. He's already had 1 hole in his walls. He doesn't want a second. And Elite Chuko Nus, what? I haven't seen these before. They don't look anything like the Chuko Nu. What happened to all the, like, Chuko Nus is supposed to have that white color on, what is this? That doesn't look like a Chuko Nu. Okay, I haven't seen that before. That completely changes what they look like. Like the Janissaries are the same way. Their graphic doesn't look, it doesn't follow the same color scheme as the Castle Age one. Okay, that's interesting. I would not think that was a Chuko Nu if I didn't see the big crossbow they had. Now they have a cool, yeah, they have an armor. That's like, that's not the right color that they're wearing. I feel like if these Cavaliers were, like, all of a sudden a different color other than white and purple. Thank you, Thumpin, for the follow. Well, this castle is getting a thumping from those Trebs. 3 Trebs now for Spaden. But the Halbs could come over and maybe take out the Trebs. Kamigawa, we'll see how he focuses the fight. We need a melee unit to destroy the Trebs, and the Halbs are there. If he takes out 1 Treb, then it's much easier to repair the castle, but he's not going to get a Treb in time, and the castle will go down. Bombard Cannon on the way over from Vodka. As the Rattan Archer is going to stand in the front and fight the Cavaliers. On the other side, we're going to have the Queen running to a potentially safer tower in the back. What's Kamigawa going to do with the Queen? Maybe put her in the TC. Not going to have the Queen in the forward castle now that he sees there's a castle on the hill and a potential Treb fight on the way here. Doesn't want to lose the Queen if he loses the castle. So, castle from Vodka destroyed, but it feels like maybe they still have a slight momentum in the push. Classic Vietnamese castles being bad. Yeah, they have no masonry, no architecture, so no HP upgrades. I think also no hoardings. So they don't have much HP at all. Where is the defensive hoard? Oh, they do have hoardings. They do have hoardings. Just no masonry and architecture. Okay, so they're not awful. Do Aztecs also not have hoardings? I think Aztecs had pretty bad castles in terms of their HP upgrades too. And then we'll have Paladin in for Bullet. So Spanish Paladins, Chinese Chuko Nus against Rattan Archer and Halb Siege. So two different army compositions. Lots of castles going up, and the more castles you have, the less mobility the Paladins have, because they're always going to be under castle fire. Aztecs don't have hoardings? Yeah, okay, yeah. They lack all upgrades. Okay, Aztecs still the worst then. Vietnamese, not quite as lacking in HP then. And we have trade being set up. Trade being set up, Kamigawa getting some markets in the corner. Same thing over here from Vodka. And, well, just like I said, trade for the other team. Without the trees all on the outside, much easier to get trade going on this map than it is on Arena, even though that house is going to block the trade slightly. Bullet, well, that's not where you want to build a house. Also, Bullet didn't quite finish the wall, so at some point Kamigawa might just raid the trade. There's another market going up. Bullet. Oh, they will have Spanish trade in the long run. So if this is a long game... Ooh, nice onager shot on the Paladins. This is a long game, the Spanish trade might kick in, but this team's score is starting to grow as they're winning the fight here. I mean, Chukwunu Paladin is a dangerous combo, but Rat and Archer Halb seems to be working. Rat and Archers themselves, now these guys have their elite upgrades. They're chunky, and Siege Engineers is on the way in for both these players, for the onagers and the bombard cannons. So Chukwunus, look at all this chunky armor these guys have now. Also go down to the cannons. Trebs continue getting shots on the walls. And there's one Paladin who made it in. He's on stand ground though. Bullet needs to recognize where he is. And they will wall up to the trade outpost over here from Spaden. Market's in the back. And this push continues. The Rat and Archers in the front, fighting the Chukwunus. Now that onagers are in the back, Chukwunus won't be able to do much to the onagers. So I guess the benefit of the Chinese would be, you have that great eco, you go for the forward castle, especially if Red has to help out Yellow with the Conquistadors in their base. But that forward push did not give him the timing he wanted. There were enough Rat and Archers out that the Chukwunus couldn't take a fight. And now the onagers just going to cut a path open into the base as the castle is besieged. In the middle, there are Paladins trying to raid, but they're raiding under barracks that are constantly producing Halbs. And a monkey will get a conversion on a Paladin. Paladins will snipe off that monk. And cannons go for the castle. Lumber camp going down. And Siege Onager, let's go. Slav Siege Onagers for Kamigawa. That's why we have Regicide Fortress in here. We can see Siege Onagers, stuff we don't always see in the other maps. There we go. Paper money? More like paper castles. That's a good one. I like that epic. That's a good one. I think Captures can solve the problems of the team game mess. Well, I think the team game UI definitely has a lot of ways to go, even just for the 2v2s. Like, I have to keep swapping between panels to see different stats. But personally, I never actually felt team games were that much of a mess. Especially since we do kind of have the convention of warm colors versus cool colors, I think it actually works pretty well. So you have the res below the player names now? Yeah, but I gotta click to open that, and then it covers this stuff. This would be more for, like, if I only briefly want to show stuff, but I don't think I ever briefly want to show the resources. I think resources are something that I almost always want visible. Yeah, team game overlay is definitely trickier than the 1v1 overlays for sure. And Bazi was clutch giving us this Alt-Q hotkey for showing the range. You can see these Rat Archers just on the outside range of the castle. That one a couple steps too forward. Now they're getting mowed down. Can we get a big Siege Onager shot on Chukwunus though? This is what Onagers are good at. Chukwunus only have 7 range. Siege Engineers now, these things have 9 range. This feels sped up a bit? Yeah, it's not sped up a bit. It is just maybe the force of the Rat Archers. Rat Archers actually are pretty speedy. 1.10. Okay, Siege Onagers, Siege Onagers. So Bombard Tower is coming out for Bullet is the Spanish. And we have Spaden running the King, or the Queen in this case, to hide among the farms. camouflaged among the peasants. Don't onager your own rat archers. Kamigawa, no, don't do it. Vodka standing a bit too close to the house that was under siege. Oh, no. Siege Onager, the upgrade backfired. I was looking for a big shot on the Chuko News, but instead we got a big shot on the Rattan Archers. So, Bombard Towers here are their answer to the Siege Onagers. They'll slow down the push, force the Trebuchets to take out the towers before they can move in. Well, this push feels kind of overwhelming at this point. Maybe there's a chance they can play a super long game and hold for the Spanish trade to kick in, but this push is too strong right now. Yeah, I did want to see big hits. If you feel Foobly Age team game spectating was more clean, I'm still not used to Capture Age for team game, too much info on the screen. Yeah, there's a lot of info. We can think about how to simplify it, maybe. So, big Onager shot on Chuko News. Okay, not hitting anything there. Okay, pushing forward. Spaden microing. I'm sure there's a lot of info on the screen. Personally, my own tastes are very minimal when it comes to UI design. I'm almost always in favor of less info. Ooh, okay, finally getting something of an Onager shot. As the castle push here continues, gotta be careful building castles under Bombard Towers. Bombard Towers actually do a lot of damage to castles. It's 124 damage in total. And the castles then would have only 12 Pierce armor, so they take a ton of damage from each Bombard Cannon shot. And that's one thing I actually like doing, Turks with artillery. You might have to worry about Hussars running in and picking off your Bombard Cannons, but then you just build some Bombard Towers, a 14 range outside the castle range, and then boom. Take out the castles from afar. Is it 14 range for towers, or 13, or whatever the range is for the Bombard Towers is the Turks? You outrange castles. Maybe it's 12. But you can besiege castles with Bombard Towers, which I love doing because it's hilarious. And it also works. Okay, Onager shot on the villagers. On the villagers! Oh. There we go. Yeah, don't call GG too fast, Bullet. Let the Onagers get their shots in. There we go. So Rulers of Rome takes game number 1. Look at the stats. 300 kills for Kamigawa, 289 for Vodka. I think the key, though, was intercepting those villas from Spaden when he tried to go forward and use the Chinese eco for the timing. And at that point, late game, the Spanish Paladins not as effective against the Slavs. And great teamwork to have halbs everywhere they needed to be. And yeah, you see the imp timing. He didn't get anything from being imp 4 minutes faster than everyone else. So GG. This is the Bullet. This is the Bullet. I think you are thinking of Bullet Chen, who is Swiss. Alright, so let's just get straight into game number 2. Which will be on Black Forest. Alright, and thank you everyone for tuning in. It's nice to have between Twitch and YouTube about 400 viewers for our backup set because the main game Vivy didn't show up for. So we're gonna have Black Forest and a very chunky oasis-like map here. One passage to wall between the two players to the north, one passage down here. And how this map happens is there's a passage between every pair of players, and there's one passage that went this direction, and then 3 passages that went this direction, I think. And this player connecting up to there. And a bit of a wibble to go over between these two. That's interesting. But yeah, BF, we'll have Spaden and Bullet to the southwest, Mongols and Bohemians. Oh, this is why they both double-picked Mongols. Mongols and Turks to the northeast. So Mongol mirror at the north, Bohemians, Turks to the south. Personally, I like Turks against the Bohemians. I feel like the extra range on the bombard cannons is actually better in this matchup than the Halfnitsa are. But both players going to get a wall up forward. I'll have Kamigawa going right away for the wall. Spaden going to focus on luring in 3 boars at once. Lots of HP on that Vil with Loom. So she will survive. And all the Vils will kill the boars and keep the food on them. So nicely done, triple boar lore. Still has his 2 boars at home. And Spaden focusing on the eco might give him a slight advantage over Kamigawa, who went for the wall. Kamigawa's not going to take advantage of going forward if he's just going to boom. Kami and Bullet, both expert RF players. That is true. It is very true. I am chatting on YouTube. Yes, I am reading the YouTube chat. I think Turks is better in team games than Bohemians. I like Turks in the 1v1 against Bohemians. I like that on Arena too. I'm brutal multi-streamer. Do I actually get more viewers now? Well, I have a lot more viewers just because it's in the middle of Cartographers. But on YouTube, I'm getting a good, let's see, 70 viewers right now. But you add that to 330 on Twitch, which gives us around 400. So I think it definitely is useful. I know some people do prefer seeing the VODs on YouTube too. So I think YouTube is great not just for the live content, but because the VODs are there and easily accessible for people. And it's a lot less work for me to just have the VOD there instead of needing to go and edit everything in between every night and re-upload it. And I kind of hit limits of what I can do with upload speed in essentially re-uploading a stream. I'm not live on Kick. I don't think my internet... I only have 35 Mbps uploaded. I'm streaming in 4K on YouTube. I don't think I can afford the bandwidth to do another platform. I have been thinking about TikTok, though. I figure that would be another potential audience source. But finally, Spaden going out to wall. And I don't think we have res collected in this overlay. Bazi will have to work on that. But I'd be interested just to see if there's an advantage in eco over Spaden from Kamigawa based on the walling approach. And let's maybe see... I can do that here, actually. All res collected. And yeah, you can see there's a bit of an advantage there from Spaden ahead of everyone. Just going for the boars early on instead of the walls. And if Kamigawa isn't gonna punish him for that, that will give him a brief lead, as long as he doesn't leave his Vil too far idled. Sure, but I take it for it. You ever seen TikTok? You're not a phone guy? Yeah, that's the thing. The TikTok is kind of a phone audience, so it gives you a different perspective than Twitch and YouTube, I think. You can maybe hit the younger viewers on TikTok. Why is it blurred? That's because Capture Age has a subscription tier, and I'm not a fan of the monetization model, so I prefer to use the free version. And those are some things that are blurred out. Why it's blurred out and not just not present is annoying, but that's what they do. I upload to each platform, yes. It's cheap to buy it. Well, it's not about the cost. It's about the fact that I don't like the fact that we've done, you know, for years in Will of the Kingdoms, we put a lot of effort into making sure that you could go back to previous versions and still watch recorded games and change the game version. And it's not fun to see that the saving of Rex independent of version is now behind a paywall. So I prefer not to use the paid version. I also think that it's just the entire concept of needing a third-party application to watch the game is ridiculous. And these are things that should be part of the game itself properly. Yeah, you can, as far as I know, you can watch the Rex, but you can't actually create the saved file. So TC for Kamigawa, helping him hunt the boars. And hello, Soxy. And we'll have Town Watch on the way for Vodka, Market Blacksmith going up to the back. And boars will be taken over here. Everyone taking the triple boars. There are 3 boars for every... Oh, did Bullet? No, he killed the boar with the TC. Oh, poor Bullet. I was going to say, everyone taking the triple boars successfully, but Bullet ruined it. Can I quickly go to res collected total? I don't have that in the overlay. I can go here. Let's see that. Yeah, so Spaden's still ahead ever since the early game in our graph. Still ahead, about 300 resources or so above Kamigawa. And I think that's just due to going for the later wall. And we'll have both of them up to castle at about the same time. 5-second difference there. The boar took a bullet. Oh, that's a good one. The boar took a bullet. So both Mongol players going for a 3 TC boom. This TC will be just on the gold. So will this one, right on the gold. So 1 on wood, 1 on gold for both of our Mongol players. Very similar opening for both of them. Stonewalling up the middle. So Kamigawa was on the Rage Forest 5 winning team along with Sato. That was what, Sato, Mihai, Kamigawa, and who else was that? Was it Doomstar on that team? Or was it Dragonstar on that team? Yeah, oh gosh, the two top Indian players having names that start with D make it really hard for me to remember. But yeah, Kamigawa, a very experienced Black Forest player. And then I guess you could say that for everyone. Right, Spaden, Bullet. They've played Black Forest forever. Dr. Agenstar. It was Dr. Agenstar. That's true, one is a doctor. And okay, difference in approach now. We're gonna have a push. We're gonna have Bullet. Monastery and Workshop up to the north. He is stonewalling this passage. Both players stonewalling. But Vodka gonna go for a 1, 2, 3, 4 town center boom. 4 TCs of the Turks. Usually Turks want to go up fast. This is a different approach. 1 TC aggression from Bullet. Looking to push into Kamigawa while Kamigawa's booming. Turks want to boom. Only 4. Chat saying you should be doing 5 TCs. What is this? Hello, Ace of Emeralds. Vodka knows the assignment. You boom as your flank dies. Oh, I mean, it's 2 people booming here. Mangonel's on the way from Bullet. Let's see if he adds in a ram. Guess artillery being expensive and very good changes. Well, artillery's cheaper now, right? It doesn't cost stone. If Kamigawa dies, this is an only to us team game, oh no. And Zova Roxy, thank you for the follow. And we'll have, in response to this, larger stone walls behind the initial choke point for Kamigawa. Just gonna fat slob up a bit, as the monk wants a conversion and just barely start targeting the Vil. And Kamigawa will be forced back, and he'll be walling behind this, trying to get extra layers for extra defenses against this Mangonel push. 3 Mangonels, and it'll be double layers of stone wall from Kamigawa. Down here, everyone just walled up. Turks from Vodka, no onagers, so you're not really worried about them cutting. They can try to treb cut, but that's about it. So this passage will be extra secured. As Bullet continues pushing in. And only a 12 vil difference between the teams right now, despite the TC difference. And here we go, 5 TCs from Spaden. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this push letting Spaden get that huge Mongols boom. Mongols boom can take a while if you want to go Mangudai and Siege Onager. Those techs and upgrades you need are expensive. That's more like it, the 5 TC boom, fortified wall coming in. The Mangonel push now against fortified wall, 4 Mangonels, 3000 HP on the walls, defensive Mangonel from Kamigawa. And not gonna do much against Redemption Monks. He immediately just deletes it. Okay, the Redemption Monks from Bullet, he was prepared. He had Sanctity on the Monks already for the HP. And the Mangonels go for the walls. Oh, don't Mangonel Spade and Scout. Don't Mangonel your own Monks. Well, the Monks are through. The Monks could convert the workshop. They can stand on the outside, and I don't think the TC will hit them. So maybe an option there to convert it. And that Redemption is in. You could convert the University, too. That's all really annoying. I think Mangonel's on the TC. And you start chanting at the building. And wall up here from Vodka. Actually, with how this choke point is set up, Bullet actually could wall Vodka off. Okay, Mangonel's on the Vils. Monk's going for conversions. Desperate castle set up for Kamigawa. He's fighting everything he can with villagers. And he's succeeding with the Vil fight, maybe? Mangonel's trying to take out the castle. And okay, Bullet maybe getting a bit overzealous with his Mangonel positioning, running into a bunch of villagers and losing 4 Mangonels. All to the villagers. Alright, Kamigawa was in trouble. Does he need army? No, he just needs villagers. There he goes. Oh, okay, he's gonna take some big Mangonel shots on those villagers now. Oh, the Mangonel hit the house instead of the villagers. Bullet misclicking. And he's walled out again. And the villagers are gonna fight the monks. Kamigawa's villagers, the only army he needs. Monks recharging some of their monk juice. Being rejuvenated. The juice is rejuvenated and going for more conversions as they heal each other. That's a lot of Vils. Now a Mangonel out for Kamigawa as well. Monks once again go for the conversion on the Mangonel. He'll get, nope, doesn't get the delete. Okay, there's a Mangonel on the inside now. More gates going up for these villagers. What is going on here? He's still walled out. Yeah, Bullet's micro there, I think leaving a bit to be desired. Also the decision making for the Mangonels. And now the converted villagers are going to start constructing a castle, but there's a Mangonel that can maybe stop that. Okay, Mangonel only 400 HP. And oh, the Mangonel goes down, the Mangonel goes down. Now Bullet's micro paying off. And this castle forward, higher score still for Kamigawa and Vodka. But Kamigawa is in trouble. And if Mongols are fully boomed from Spaden, I think Turks can struggle against that. They probably have to go Cav Archer at that point, so they have more options than they did in the past. But the Janissary Bombard Cannon combo, not that great. A crop shot? Oh, did he just pull off a crop shot hitting a farm? Okay, so score lead now, Spaden Bullet. Imperial Age on the way for Spaden. He'll be the first one up. And he has some Mangudai starting to come forward. Although this might be a doubt castle, as Kamigawa has raced his castle up first. And now there are no more villagers here. The monks need to convert some more villagers so they can finish the castle. What is a crop shot? If you right-click the center of a farm, you can target the farm from 7 tiles away, but the shot goes an extra tile to hit the center of the farm. So it's you can use farms to get 1 extra range on your Mangonels, essentially. Same thing with TCs by hitting the middle of the TC. You can see that, like, if you use the repair hotkey instead of right-clicking the TC, Vils can group up in the center, and you can get more shots on Vils if they group up. And okay, these Mangonels are not having a good time against that TC. Because, well, depends on what angle you shoot it from. Depends on what the angle you shoot it from the side versus like straight on. If you want to start adding square roots to the calculations. So Vill's going to build the castle. I think they need to use the ram for cover, maybe. That castle's on 85% but losing HP. He's just gonna fall back. His vodka up to imp. Kamigawa is still castle, but he's clicking up. Castle age on the way for bullet. They're gonna need some trebs. They're gonna need trebs to start popping from Spade, and he's doing conscription and trebs, has 2 trebs forward. Takes out that castle, then he can finish this. We already have a ram working on the wall, but castle age rams take a while to go through fortified walls. A ram from the workshop gonna start ramming down that castle. Now Kamigawa with a much higher score than bullet, but that doesn't matter if Kamigawa can't hold long enough and just gets overrun. There goes the ram. Here comes some Mangadai though. Mangadai very effective at stopping ram pushes. This castle losing HP. Some Vills need to run forward and finish that castle. Are there any Vills nearby? Some Vills in the lumber camp. They had gotten through these tiles of walls, or maybe Treb cut a couple trees and they could have gotten for it, but there it goes. Not going to finish that castle. Bit of a doubt castle from Bullet. Looked pretty good for the push early on, but that castle not going to be finished. And now Turk heavy cav archers probably, with all the extra HP they have, suddenly Turks have a great answer to Mangadai. In AOC, Turks really had no answer to this, but now fully upgraded heavy cav archer with extra HP. They have the full armor. And that's the thing the Mangadai lack, the final armor upgrade, so that does make them kind of weak, potentially to other archers or even other heavy cav archers. The Treb's going for the castle. Hussite reform is on the way for Bullet. We should stay on monks. And well, I think he's gonna go for the same thing. So Hussite reforms is the tech that makes your monks cost food instead of gold. Is that actually good for him? I guess maybe he's running out of gold soon. But that does interfere with your boom if you're still trying to make vills and get your eco back into the game for spending food on monks. And now the trebs and cannons from the Turk player are coming forward. I think Vodka's boom should put him in a good position to save Kamigawa. As everyone's imp, we'll have Sipahai on the way. How do I say that? I think I've been saying it wrong for many years. I thought the H and the A were reversed. Oh gosh, I've been saying that wrong for years. And Sipahai. Sipahi. 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 Okay, he instead of hi. Okay. So, and the P in the middle syllable. So, Sipahi. Sipahi. And which syllable is the emphasized one? This is what we get to do with chat. We can practice and learn how to say everything. So Mangadai more DPS than the heavy cav archers. I think they add extra attack, and they should fire a bit faster, especially as Mongols. But still, Turk heavy cav archers, I think one of the best units you could have against the Mangadai. Maybe Magyars with the extra range. So Sipahi. Or Sipahi. There we go, Sipahi. That's it. I got it. Okay, so now Mangadai coming up for Kamigawa. So Kamigawa heavy cav archer for the Turk against Mangadai monk. I don't think the monks will be as effective here. See, no heresy. Is heresy available? It's available for the Turks and it is available for the Mongols. So they could go double heresy, but I guess in some sense that's not necessary. Whatever's converted here just gets picked off right away. Turk HCA are the meat shield for the bombard cannons? Basically, yeah. Making sure the Mangadai don't get to the bombard cannons. And more importantly, not to the Trebs. Cannons at least can run away and micro a bit. Maybe get some of their own shots on the Mangudai. The Mangudai picking off the Trebs. Spaden slowing this down. Spaden maybe just hoping beyond all hope that we can get reinforcements from Bullet soon. His Bullet is up. 94 Vils, and maybe he can get some Halfnitsa at some point. There we go, he's clicked Halfnitsa. And if he clicks Halfnitsa, maybe he can shoot the Mangudai. All the palisades and stone walls being deleted from Kamigawa. Spaden's still trying to hold 1v2. His castle slowly will crumble. Cannons press forward. Vaka using no attack stance patrol with his CA. They seem to have no collision with each other. That's probably a good way to stack them. Either no attack stance or maybe stand ground patrol. And I don't know what the current meta is, but yeah, you want to get them, however you patrol them, to stack up as much as you can to engage. Not once the health needs to come out, maybe. But the more you have them stacked and micro tightly together, the easier it is to get them all shooting at once. And Bullet lost all the monks. He has Halfnitsa now. He has Halfnitsa at least. We have, a bit of a raid though, a Mangudai raid. Kamigawa running down this passage to try to get to Bullet's base. They're gonna get in, they're gonna get to her castle. Oh no, Bullet might have another castle denied. This one right in the middle of his home city. Mangudai taking out the Vils. Can't tell apart the new Mongol and Bohemian castles? I think they're pretty clearly different. These are the Mongol ones, these are the Bohemian ones. Bohemians aren't new, they always had their own castles. Yeah, this raid is devastating for Bullet. Now down to 80 Vils. Used to old castles. I am too. Old castles, old monks. Yeah, rip the economy. He'd spent so much time rebooming. Does he have... Did he do Fervor? Oh, he never did Fervor for his Vils. Makes your Vils move faster. Needs that final eco upgrade. At least the Vils have Sanctity. But he's gonna try to wall and build a farm at the same time. And that does not work. Now the Mangudai can run over the farm. And at the front, we now have the Bombard Towers. 8 plus 5, so 13 range. Yeah, 13 range in the Bombard Towers for the Turks. Because artillery indeed is in, as are all of the blacksmith upgrades. And this is where you have Bombard Towers that outrange castles. That have equal range as the Halfnitsa. Bombard Towers, amazing in team games. These late team game situations when you can really get them in a choke point like this. And now Turk Hussars with the extra Pierce armor, going for a raid on Bullet. Bullet needs to wall and wall now. Those Hussars are on the way. You could have seen them with the monasteries. He had time to wall, but he's just building more farms. And here they come. Capt Ram forging on the way. And big Hussar raid. He's trying to wall behind it. He doesn't have stone. He's walling with the barracks. And he's not going to get the wall up in time. Okay, some Hussars get in. The others will just kill the walling Vils. Vodka, what are you doing? Yeah, the Hussars aren't attacking the villagers. Kill the villagers. There they go. So Mangudai coming over from Kamigawa to try to protect. There's the Bohemian army. It was all the monks. He was going pure monk earlier. The Bullet went for the early input push, and honestly, it almost worked. A bit more micro and a few better decisions made on how to micro, and you'd probably be fine. Hussar is gonna get in everywhere. Take the vills, and we'll have stables going up for vodka. Are these trapped? No, they're not trapped. They're just there. Oh, wait, they're trapped with a couple of pikemen. There's some pikemen trapping them in here. There's a one-tile gap, and now there are halbs there. Oh gosh, are all these hussars trapped? They are. They can't get out. A halb wall. Killing the hussars. And TC taking out the rest of the hussars there. They keep their raid going, but maybe they've denied a TC. And now, oh, now these walls are breached. And now Nomads is in for Kamigawa, so he can delete his houses and have a cleaner trade route. Spaden's still trying to hold, and Spaden's still somehow holding. I mean, 75 military to 38. All the monks trying to get the relics. Spaden down here with Mengadai cleaning a lot. Kamigawa's Mengadai that have been hoovering around down here going to be taken out. These buildings need to be cleared, though. And if Hussar on the way for Spaden, some Mongol Hussars. Well, I guess they are better in combat directly against the Turk ones. But they do lack that final Pierce armor upgrade. They have more HP, though. And the Hussars will go down as the Mengadai can get their patrol in. Onager's getting some shots also. Oh, can we get Onager shots on the Mengadai? Nah, Kamigawa's microing. I thought he was going to run into that for a second. And Spaden, OP. Holding on. I mean, they have a much larger military count still. So even though there's a huge Vil difference, RR has not been able to push and finish off Spaden. Spaden's been holding. And despite all of the raids, Bullet now back up to 100 villagers. We have 172 villagers from Vodka, who is just not really pushing. I don't know why he's not making all the cav archers, but that's... Even with Turk range on the bombard cannons, it is hard to push into Mongols because they snipe off your siege so well. Why CA for Vodka, not hand cannons? I feel like CA for Vodka is the better option against the Mengadai. With Sipahi, with how much HP they have. It's not like they have an anti-CA unit here. Max pop at 395 pains you. Now Spaden needs some nomads and then deleting his own houses. Did he do that? Did he do nomads? Oh no, Spaden. Yeah, they gotta learn the value of nomads. Oh, this team, they're cutting a trade route. Look at that, they're cutting a trade. At least they'll have safe trade. Yeah, their map did not let them trade as easily as RR's map. Spaden's still defending like a beast, and he will slowly but surely start shoving down the bombard towers. We'll have murder holes in for Vodka for the towers. That gen's a bit unfair. Well, that's Black Forest for you. Maybe that's why they had Bullet try to go aggressive, because they didn't want to play the map gen in the late game, knowing that the trade route would be so hard. Right, and if they had just a bit more aggression here holding this passage, they could trade here, and they wouldn't have to cut that trade route. You can imagine the same thing if they were here, and then this trade wouldn't be possible. It's the red dot on the right corner. That is a wolf in the clearing. A gray wolf. That's not Vodka somehow pathfinding a unit over there. So Hussar is being torn to shreds by the Mangudai. Onager is rolling forward with a drill. Oh, Onager shot on the Mangudai. Onager shots on the Mangudai. And on the Hussars, but mostly on the Mangudai there. Okay, got a couple of good hits. The Bombard Towers are mostly cleared. The Bombard Towers are mostly cleared, and I mean, the scores aren't even that far apart. Can Spaden do this? I mean, I was thinking that the Cav Archers would be great against the Mongols, but maybe the Mongols are just too darn strong. Down here, even this is getting slightly pushed back. The trade is in. The Onager cut has worked, and they're trading. He's kind of pushing back up here. Now, kill counts are still different, but populations are just about there. Much larger military. Now it's this team that needs to push. Neither Mongols player with fully upgraded Siege Onagers yet. Siege Onager on the way for Kamigawa. Okay, they get some hits on the Hussars. Hussars keep moving forward. Hussars gonna try to take out the Onagers. Oh, the Trebs take out the castle. Ooh, nice shot for the Onagers on the Hussars. Mangudai, though, still deadly as always against Siege Onagers. Down they go. Kind of odd to pick the last letter in the alphabet, but I guess this is Sweden's island team. That's what I've been told. This is basically Sweden Z. And that this is the last letter in their alphabet. So, Cav Archers raids in the south now. Vodka finally getting a push. Vodka has deleted some of his vills, only 156 vills now. And he's getting a Cav Archer raid on the trade in the south. A Cav Archer raid on the trade. Oh, they've done so much work to cut and establish this trade just for it now to go down. That's gonna hurt. Cannon's now going for the castle, and all of a sudden they've opened up a huge score lead, and I think in large part due to this push, and due to the fact that they have Siege Onager, and Siege Onager should just help in this fight. The Mangudai going down, all of a sudden things swapping suddenly in favor of RRR. All this Cav Archer raid absolutely devastating, and the Bohemians don't really have a good unit for dealing with Cav Archers. Cannon's there with artillery working on this castle. Is this the best team Sweden can field? Probably not. Ganji was on the Amigos. He played with Valas. And there's the GG from Spaden. Well, Spaden gave it a good run. What do you think about Cavalier instead of Hussar as meat shield when trade is established? Probably a good idea. But if you're the Turks in this setup, your Hussars have more pierce armor, so I'm not sure about that. So there's 2-0 in favor of Rulers of Rome. They do win the best of 3. That is the first set in this group. And, well, 2-0, but what a game of Black Forest that was. Spaden leading the game with 357 kills. And Bullet just, that's what I worried about with Bohemians in this matchup. I think they did this right. I think the strategy of Bullet pushing early in Imp was exactly the right strategy. Just not quite executed with the Mangonel push as well as it could have been. 17 conversions for him. But once that was stopped, I mean, Spaden gave it a good run to hold on. But here we have 20,000 trade profit for the other team. They were patient. They were patient and played this well. So what other sets coming up today? We have another community set. So as we had with our first set today, the Vivy unfortunately did not show up, so we had to do an admin win for their opponents. But next we're gonna have another set, which is going to be Rulers of Rome, but... Oh, I need to update the scoreboard. This is the Pathfinder group, and it is a best of 3. Rulers of Rome, the B team, against Nocturna C. That is Acro's team. And let me grab the drafts for this matchup. the maps. The bands are off the screen. I need to set up the overlay for this more properly. Hello, Maple Leaf Lancer. I am having a great day. Thank you. I'll update the title on YouTube. So, this is amazing. We're having over 400 viewers for the Community League. So, welcome everyone on Twitch, on YouTube. This is in the same group, the Pathfinder group, the best Community League group. And this will be Nocturna against Rulers of Rome B. And you might be wondering, who are Rulers of Rome B? I'm wondering that myself. So let me check the sign-up sheet. It is Loris, Illusionist, Mathieu, and Smoke-A-Lot. I'm not very familiar with those players. I'm actually more familiar with Nocturna C. Nocturna being the favorite in this set. We'll see how they do. They be the Rulers of Rome. Indeed. So let me get these recs, make sure I have them in my folder properly. I do. And let's just look at the drafts real quick. I should also drink some water and stay hydrated. Arena, then Forest Pond and Outcrop. Oh, I was hoping Nocturna C would do something crazier, but they banned the Chaos maps. Oh, but I think I missed a couple follows. Thank you, Master Bilocop and Zovaroxy for the follows. So let's get into game number 1. And hello, Maestro in the chat. Nope. And let's just get this set up. This is RRB and NOC-C. Which team is the favorite here? Nocturna is the favorite. Nocturna is the favorite here. It is Arena, and we will have to the north, we'll have Loris and Illusionist playing as the Burgundians and Italians. And then to the south, we shall have Madtomsky and Acro playing as the Portuguese and the Lithuanians. The non-Scout Archer maps have been so much fun compared to Scouts Archers. Well, that was the point. I wanted to have a good mixture of different styles of maps, and even among the Scout Archer maps have a few different setups. Like Arabia has the chickens on it, so it's not just a deer push meta. Outcrop, you have that pocket flank situation. And then Golden Lakes, Spiral, you have some different setups on the hybrid map where you can dock and go for fish too. So even the Archer Scout ones, they're not just pure Arabia push deer play Archer Scout like you would have seen in the past. Is this? Yep, this is the community bracket. This is the highest tier community bracket. And I also need to probably message people and have them schedule and play their games, because there's only been 2 sets played so far, and we should have had, I think, 4 played. Or more, even. Yeah. And the other thing I wanted in the map pool was to have a good mixture of standard maps along with the more fancy maps. So you could have a set that's Arabia, Arena, Nomad, Black Forest, and Islands, or Mediterranean, and play 5 very standard maps. Or you could do 4 Seasons, Jungle Rumble, Sumatra, Socotra, Stranded, Spiral, and have a whole bunch of crazy maps. Like some Arena? Nice. I like Arena too. MBL beat Viper's team. How is there not more trolling memes about this? I don't know. You always go post some. That's the dynasty being over. Dynasty. Well, that's years ago when we first came up with the name Cartographers. We all had a big chat where we posted suggestions, and I asked ChatGPT, and the name it suggested was Viper's Dynasty Duos. Viper liked Cartographers more. Arena, yep, this version of Arena is always dear, always 1,800 HP walls. And I noticed I was watching Memb cast that MBL Viper game, and MBL was Byzantines, and I realized that they didn't have the proper HP on their Dark Age walls, so I fixed that. And now they do. So Arena, Regicide Fortress, Byzantines have proper 10% boosted HP walls in the Dark Age. It's not like MBL and his team are bad, that's for sure. I know that when back when the 18 pop Archer meta was first being established on Arabia, I think I was one of the first people to pick up on it, because I'd seen, I don't know if it was Sato or Anatov in their team games doing it, and I realized how strong it was, and I think I picked up on it before a lot of other players did. And I had an Arabia game where I was against Sorakuma on the flank, who was MBL's teammate in that game. And I caught him by surprise with those archers before he was ready for it, before he had grown accustomed to that meta. And so I know the power of Scout's archers. You know, Z40 and Sorakuma there. At least in 1v1's usually not up to... you wouldn't expect either of them really to win against Viper or Tato, but I mean, Viper plays Sorakuma on the ladder a lot these days. And I've seen quite a few Viper VODs where they get matched. So he's probably at least comfortable with the matchup at this point. So Market Blacksmith there. So Italians, Burgundians probably want to boom. Italians have options for that fast imp, have options to go Genoese crossbows later on. Could go Condottieri against the Portuguese. Lithuanians want to fight for relics. There are 7 relics on this map. They do seem fairly evenly balanced by looking at the mini-map. Of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Team game is a different game, indeed. And scouts will hit each other to the southwest. They'll be doinking each other and running across, trying to find their teammate. And getting some wax on each other. So scout goes down, another scout runs away. And we have a few scouts now running around for Acro. So Acro, as the Lithuanians, it does want to have map presence for grabbing the relics, and also potentially for stopping the Italians from getting a castle drop on them. Now, even if you do get 4 relics as the Lithuanians, Italians with Genoese crossbowmen still potentially a civ that can deal with the Lechai. They can gun them down before they get close. But we will have, it will be organ gun time, Matomsky going forward for the castle, putting it right in that divot between the 2 corner wall pieces as forward as he can get it. Just watching my appearance on the TC today, I did good. You know, I've been seeing people give like feedback about the podcast, and people always are like, "You did good," which is like, am I like competing with someone there that I'm supposed to do good? Not like it's a bad thing for people to say that. I'm not actually sure what it really means to say I did good. I did well, actually. Camera quality. I was told I was staring into the camera too much. That's what happens when you don't have a director direct you on a podcast and you're just sitting there by yourself doing a podcast. I'll be aware of that for next time. But you always need some like simple stuff like that. You need people just to point out to you once. It means I was entertaining. Competing with all the other podcast guests to get TC Guest of the Year award. I did do good at the podcast. I also muted Dave. Oh man. Anyway, we have Portuguese organ guns going forward. And they'll be trying to take out the houses. Nice house wall for Loris here. Stable and monastery. Now, Burgundians have really good monks, so a redemption monk defense against the organ guns is a possibility. I've never really been a fan of the mangonel defense because that just leads to the Portuguese adding in redemption monks behind it, and potentially even less in a team game because your opponent's scouts can go and try to take out the monks. And even if you just go monk defense, you can hide in your TC from scouts. But definitely does work against the organs in isolation. I think I would still like to see redemption, but you have to be aware of the fast imp now. You have to make sure you're not falling behind in imp timing against the Portuguese, but then even if you're getting to imp, you have to worry about Vittoria eco. So this is a very, very tricky composition to hold off. I don't think the organ gun push is what it once was. Definitely not. It can't go through houses as much, and it is a bit weaker to mangonels. I still think the scary thing about it, though, is just the Imperial Age timing. And, well, in a team game, you also have an option of hitting both players. We saw Illusionist on stone, but he did not actually collect stone after he built that mining camp. Oh, yeah, he did. He mined 3 stone, so he's not going to have a castle. He will not have a castle of his own, as the organ gun push will continue. And this will be Acro and Medtomsky getting in. Illusionist under a bit of pressure. Is there a hole? Is there a hole? Did someone get you baited by blacksmith graphics again? No, no hole. House will go down. And, ooh, Light Cav will snipe off a monk. Light Cav will snipe off a monk. So Loris with the Light Cav, still at least being active on the map. And a good job walling from Illusionist. Organ Gun's not going to get in. And I'm looking at the eco, though, of Medtomsky, and he is about to click Imp. And Portuguese clicking Imp is going to be very scary, because, well, they're going to get Trebs. And I think also, more than that, they're going to have Vittoria eco at home. And I wonder if they ever think about doing a second castle. And I wonder where the castle positioning would be, because a castle here, kind of like threatening the main gold. He didn't see the main gold, though. Seeing the stone, at least he knows the gold would be somewhere around here. Maybe the scouts will see it. If that scout had gotten in, it might have seen the gold. Kind of risky here, though, because of the mangonels, I guess. But with this castle on the front gold, another castle over here, if they see that, could completely starve Loris of gold. Relic count for Acro is the Lithuanians, 4. He's gotten 4, the only player so far to have gotten any relics. And you do need that for the main +4 you'll get for the Late Chai and the Nightlines. And here is Loris picking up a relic. Trying to go Cavaliers. And Burgundy's kind of interesting is, yeah, they don't have Trebs, but if they do go stay Cavaliers, they could just essentially be making the Imperial Age unit in the Castle Age to fight the organ guns. Cavaliers, they do even have an option for, let's see, they don't have Heresy, they do Devotion, in case the Portuguese player adds monks. But it could just be full Castle Age Cavalier spam to fight the Imperial Age Portuguese. And then monks coming over, getting some conversions on these vills, trying to deny the castle. He swaps targets and converts an organ gun. The organ gun could deny the castle. We're going to have vills coming forward for a tower. Tower to try to deny the castle. Another conversion on another vill. And, yep, the vill's converted. This is still being slowed down. I think the tower was too late. Maybe if that tower goes up earlier, the castle's denied, because it wasn't too many vills. Only 6 left, and yeah, he's not going to go for the tower. Castle will go up for Acro, but Acro not imp yet, so he's not going to be able to do too much with the castle. And Vill's trying to get a villager kill, not quite. And they'll just all garrison in the castle. Loom on the way for the illusionist. Does Acro have loom? Acro does have loom. Oh yeah, illusionist had the yeah, he would have fallen victim to the converting a villager, swapping tasks, and losing loom situation. Yeah, that happens sometimes when you're converting. You have the villagers with loom are constructing the castle, you convert them, you yourself don't have loom, you turn them into a villager to fight, and then you can't win the fight, because you have less HP. So our relic count to Acro will be 6-1. 6-1. Along with the forward castle drop, the scouts from Acro gave them a lot of map control. And the Treb now from Batomsky going for the TC. And actually, if Loris ever wanted to go imp, he needs a back TC, because this TC will go down. But what does Loris do now? He has 11 Cavaliers. Might need to delete his walls and go for the Trebs, and I mean, no reason not to. He can get right in. Oh, nice gate. Nice gate from Batomsky. But ultimately, not going to stop the Cavaliers from getting to the Treb. And more monks now, but that monk not able to garrison anywhere. Doesn't get a conversion. Imperial Age monk's scary, but now even scarier might be Lechai with 4 relics. Along with a monk. They're going to try to take a fight. Nice positioning there from Loris. That was about as good as a fight as he could have gotten. Light Cav going down. Just need to wall the middle and split or apart wall this. I mean, someone did that to me once in a game of Arena. Now more troops coming forward, more walls going up from Loris, but the Cavaliers can just come from the other direction. More monks, though. And not enough cav being flooded here maybe to get the Trebs this time. Some repairing villagers as monks want conversions, but another Treb does go down. And that'll stall out the push a bit. Mill going up on the farms. Now they gotta be careful about the deleted house and potential converted Cavaliers that might run through there. Now, Matomsky has Fatoria Eco, and this is the scary thing. 1 TC Imp with Eco behind it, double Fatorias. Now the castle going up in the middle for Acro. HI coming forward. Cavaliers still running around, like having Cavaliers hoovering, getting grouped up. Cavaliers and light cav sniping monks. Big fight with the Cavaliers. Treb going for the barracks. More Lechai coming in from the side. Treb goes down, so Treb's going down, but now the Lechai start to hoover their way in. Treb's against this forward castle from Acro. Acro with the highest score, but will be losing the forward castle he has. And Illusionist as the Italians can start pumping out Genoese crossbowmen and maybe have an answer to the Lechai. However, Loris is getting pushed, and getting pushed hard. He himself does not have an answer to Lechai other than hoping that the castles can hold. And we have, what is this, 7 converted Cavaliers? Or, yeah, what is that? Do we have Devotion? Devotion is in at least. Well, if only he had Heresy, he could really stay full Castle Age and push. Starting to get Custilier, but monks will be able to deal with the Custilier. And 52 vills, but now 1, 2, 3, 4 Fatorias. Fatoria economy from Matomsky. As the Trebs go for the castle. Is it Latison? No, it is not. It is not. Devotion will be in for Illusionist. But the Lechai now absolutely devastating aggro with all those relics controlling the map. Treb's taking out the castle, and Loris about to be almost defeated. Lechai pick off the Vills. We'll hit the stable and workshop on the side. Castle needs maybe another volley to go down. Ooh, Vills getting picked off by the Lechai. There they go. They go for the villagers. All the Vills go down. And let's get conversions. Now, a lot of Genoese crossbowmen. Genoese crossbowmen are the last hope for this team. Can they come just in time to save what 40 Vills are left for Loris? They are not elite. And they still don't want to run directly into the organ guns. A bit short on range for dealing with organ guns. Why is it called Arena? Because the walls have 1,800 HP. And not 1,080 like on DE's Arena in the Feudal Age. So we don't have tower rushes. It is a proper game of Arena. Organ guns going down. And the Lechai coming forward. What type of fight will this be? These are elite Lechai. But Genoese crossbowmen do counter them fairly well. The Lechai are dying. But maybe just not dying fast enough as the castle is besieged. And that soon will crumble. A couple more volleys of projectiles. And the stone is gone. It can't be repaired. Masonry was not in. And it is down. We do have elite Genoese crossbowmen now. These guys are heavily armored. These guys look kind of tanky. Those shields. Like proper shields. Just trying to hold. 1v1 Illusionist might even be able to beat Acro now, but it's not a 1v1. It's a 4 Fatoria Eco now from Betomsky, as the Portuguese have devastated. Made the opening, and Acro ran through to devastate the Eco of Loris. Do converted Lechai keep the relic attack bonus? Yes, they do. They have exactly the attack when they were converted. So regardless of the relic status as any player is gaining or losing them, once it's converted, then the attack is locked in. Same way that blacksmith upgrades don't change the attack. Yep, exactly, Luke face. Okay, another charge of the Lechai going for Trebs, but they will run into Genoese crossbowmen. And they might get the Trebs, but they'll also go down. Those Trebs will melt. Lechai numbers themselves melting, but the Trebs going down stalls out that push. This castle just manages to stay alive. Did Yellow sling Red to get back into the game? At some point, yes. I think Yellow probably wants to get to 200 pop first. You want to be at max pop as you're slinging. Genoese crossbowmen taking out a lot of Lechai, but the numbers are just too much. Acro with too many Lechai. Overrunning the Genoese crossbow numbers, there are the GGs. And Nocturna C goes up 1-0. So well done there. Acro with 133 kills. Matomsky with 16 conversions. Loris tried to hold and boom. Had a good economy for a long time. But eventually those Vitorias were too much. And that's the scariest thing about the Portuguese push. Not necessarily the organ guns, but the Vitoria economy. So GG. Right, so that'll be a 1-0 for Nocturna C. Oh, for the follows. Thank you, T90 official, for the follow earlier. T90 needs to play his Silver League games tomorrow. Sorry, clicking that button swaps the overlay size for some reason. Alright, game 2 will be on Forest Pond. Forest Pond. Was he not following before? I guess not. Alright, Forest Pond, our next game. Welcome on Twitch, welcome on YouTube. When is the Gold League playoffs? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Specific Realm, thank you for the follow. All will be at 15 GMT. We'll have the 2 quarterfinals, then the semifinals, and then the finals. Ooh, luring in a boar and a deer at the same time. Look at that. Illusionist bringing the boar. So, Armenians and Japanese for Nocturna, Persians and Malay for RRB. Long weekend in front of the TV. Nice. If you have a high resolution TV, you can always use the YouTube stream for the 4K stream and the lack of ads. I realized I never shared I was live on my Discord today because that set didn't happen earlier. So Acro, as unfortunate as possible with the fish. I did adjust the map slightly so that everyone does get 2 deep fish. Acro's deep fish being as far as possible from his dock, I think. As far as possible being like 4 or 5 tiles, so it's not like this is bad, but it's not going to be as comfy as his teammate being right there. The other team is a bit of a closer fish. I guess it's a kind of a combination of the water ended up getting really close to his TC, and the fish ended up getting kind of far. Yeah, Forest Pond. This is a really tricky map to balance because the water is made in connection generation, which is after terrain generation. You'll notice that the water doesn't have any like terrain layering on it like some of the other maps do. That's because it's pure connections. I love all the team game action lately. I do too. I'm glad that we have 2v2s. I think also just from my side, the important part is we now have something of an infrastructure established for next time we do tournaments. We have a pipeline for getting everything running smoothly. And that in itself is a lot of work to put together. So we have Loom on the way for the Illusionist. Vil on the gold there. And usually we see fast ups into... Sometimes it's one player going fire galleys and the other going pure galleys. Could also just be double galleys. Scouts will be fighting on the side between Loris and Acro. I'll have Feudal on the way for Illusionist. Feudal on the way for the other 2 players as well. As the fishing ships go for the fish, and a wall will be deleted, and the Vil runs forward. Look at this, we might have 2 forward docks from both teams. Vil looks like she's trying to walk but got stuck almost. So as the Japanese Matomsky going forward, you probably want the Armenians player being the galley player. But we'll have 1, 2, 3 docks on the water from Matomsky. Okay, where's this Vil going? She's gonna find a dock. And will she build a dock right there? Are the shorefish? No, okay, the docks won't be kissing, but the other dock will be forward. And will be forward on the corner. So Illusionist up to Feudal, a bit late on that dock. We're going for the fires. So Malay for the fires and Persians potentially for galleys. Alright, so double docks for Loris, but Vil forward for Acro. One day we're going to see Vils go forward and have a Vil fight along this tiny coastline. There is double bit axe on the way for Loris. Another dock for Acro. And Nocturna. Ooh, double galley play, actually. Okay, double galleys. And the timing wasn't there. For Acro's galleys, he will start losing fishing ships. Now, fire and galley together. The advantage of fires is that you don't need to wait for fletching. You can have a nice early lead on the water, as the galleys have to dance away from you. You can always bring them back and repair. Over to more galleys from Loris for cover. And of course, you always have to keep in mind there aren't too many fish on this map. And I think I've seen enough games to feel confident that if you can win the water, but then spend so much winning the water that you then get pushed on the outside. The fishing ships for Illusion is trying to hide. Ship sailing around. We'll have fletching on the way. And Galley Micro still going strong between Acro and Loris on the right. Have a lot of galleys though from Atomsky. And this is the advantage of starting with the galleys. You start with them, and then you can get overwhelming numbers over the fires once fletching comes in. And we do have fletching in, at least from Atomsky. You have fletching for Illusionists too, but you're not getting the same benefit from that if you don't have as many galleys because you opened with fires. So if it feels like here the double galley opening was better than galley plus fire. Illusion is trying to move out with galleys now, but just doesn't quite have the numbers now that Loris's numbers are going down. And it looks like Nocturna going to win the water. Win the water with a lot of galleys though. That's 10 galleys, that's 14 galleys. And they definitely have invested more on this than their opponents have. And you can always fall into the trap if you win the water, and then you add in a bunch of fish, but then your opponent keeps investing and snipes your fish off. Or you win, and you keep investing, and then your opponent doesn't, and they just go around to the outside. Galley fire requires extensive coordination, I think. I think it does. And I think it also requires very nice forward docks, which Illusionist did have. I think it requires not just coordination, but a very, very tight build, so that the fires have the timing to do damage early on. In the long run, the galleys will scale better. And then the double galley player always has the options of adding in occasional demos, which the other team can't really use effectively because it's just galleys. Let's see, there's a red dot on the outside, just a scout fight though. Castle Age on the way for Loris. Then Loris then has options. Does he attempt to do War Galley and amass fire ships in the middle to win with fire ships? Or does he just go on the outside? Now the Persians may be a tricky civ for pushing on the outside. I think Armenians, Japanese, compared to Persians, both a bit better at playing early castle on the outside with some type of monk push potential. Malay can do that too, but Persian's not really the civ you'd think of for that. Also have Castle Age on the way from Atomsky. He'll be a minute behind Loris. And hello, Lily, how you doing? Also, Armenians' galley war feels like cheating. Fair enough. And then Japanese fishing ships also maybe something of a counter to the early fire strategy, because the fires won't do damage to the fishing ships to take them out in time. New demo hits the fishing ship. Oh, Vil on the side wanted to go forward for Illusionist. Will be found by Matomsky's scout, but at least he manages to wall himself in safely. And Bosa on the way for Loris. What are those galleys doing? They're, well, trying to get forward, get the houses. And now Illusionists, on the back foot, who trying to get the Ville around, will go for a barracks, but the wolf is there. Needs another wall. Okay, well, we'll get the forward barracks at least. Oh no, that barracks was denied. Illusionist wanted to go aggressive on the outside, but got stopped by the scout and the wolves. Maybe that's something to think of now on this map, whether we actually want wolves on the outside. I don't think I'll make a change at this point. And the original map had them, so I didn't think to remove them. But might be... It's not like the hybrid map thing, like Cross or Scandinavia, where wolves can stop your docking. But it is important enough to be able to go around the outside to pressure people after the docks that maybe the wolves are just not a good option. Bozzy's like, we need more wolves. Bozzy's like, all these forests on the outside should be wolves instead of trees. Galleys hitting the villagers. Forcing Illusionists back. At least twice as many wolves. Everyone wants wolves. Oh, there's a bear. A brown bear. There are brown bears, polar bears, and black bears now. The new patch in April added a few new animals. Ooh, a demo raft. Will that raft finish, and will it hit anything? It finishes, and it hits nothing. Loris would have been better to lose the dock faster, because then he wouldn't have had the demo. So, extra HP and faster working, backfiring. And Najitaka, thank you for the follow. We're getting really close to 13k followers, and we're still going to make a push to try to get 15k this weekend. I appreciate all the support. And if we do get 15k, I will, of course, be increasing the prize pool by another $500, so that's a goal for us, too. Did I have a chance to look at the maps for John Slow's next tournament? I didn't have a chance yet, Bozzy. I've been so busy with this, but I did briefly see the announcement posts, and they looked interesting. And Rock Moses, thank you for the follow. And Adsung El Kiralia, thank you for the follow. And Imp for Acro. Oh boy, an Imp with a transport ship. Ooh, what are the chances Acro just goes Imp and drops a castle right here? I'd like that. Loris doing outposts on the side. Some composite bowman coming forward for Acro. I mean, he has a castle already. I think he should do it with the transport. We have Beast Chi, which is Michi, but with predators as the separator in the middle instead of the wood line. Yeah, I heard about that one. Okay, yeah, Vills on the transport. 10 Vills going on. You don't need any upgrades anymore for 20 capacity. You just have it. There they go. They'll bring a mule cart with them. Why not? And he's got more Vills he could send. Nice try pronouncing Hungarian. Well, thank you. I appreciate the follow. Oh, that's what I say. I give every name an attempt. When was the last time a team won that didn't control the middle? That's a good question. I feel like the map gives you lots of outside opportunities, but maybe it does just come down to middle control. I'll need to maybe do some stats on that. Because obviously it is an advantage to control the middle. We did have that game where it was just a Kumans player who boomed on the outside and didn't go for the middle. And then just won by pushing the outside, so it has happened. Maybe something we could do is just make the middle slightly smaller and decrease the size of the forest, so that the middle maybe isn't quite as valuable. Not as many fish, and not quite as much map control from owning it. So there's the forward castle from Acro. Loris going to do his own castle. A map with randomly spawning wolves anywhere? Well, I guess that's technically how wolves usually work. Just not right on top of players. So there is the GG. And Nocturna will ride this to a 2-0 win for themselves. So GG. Spawning during gameplay. So, thank you all for watching. I think that'll be it for me today. Apologies we didn't get the set with LYB, but Vivy, unfortunately, was nowhere to be found. And Bad Koala could not find him. So, thank you all for the support. I'll end the stream first on YouTube, then we'll raid someone on Twitch. So, thank you all, YouTube, for watching. Say goodbye to YouTube. And I'll see you back tomorrow at 17 GMT is when T90 plays. I'm not sure if we'll have other games, but we'll definitely have that at 17 GMT.